I'd like to ask the two speakers, or all three speakers of the session, so also Johanna and Anja, to join us here on the stage again, because now we can jump into the Q&A part. And I'd like to start. And we already heard, Johanna, you said it. The next challenges are just waiting around the corner. Tell us, what are your next challenges, all of you?
Shall we just do it in a round?
As you prefer.
Okay, then I will just start. So for us, the main challenge when working with company partners is really to handle the data. So it's on the one hand that data is scattered over so many different databases and sources and data lakes and places. That's one problem. Then the data is extremely heterogeneous, so connecting all those points is definitely a challenge for us, because otherwise we cannot do any visualization at the end. But on the other hand, it's also the amount of data. So we have another project where we record sensor data for hydropower plants, and we are currently at the stage where we are not able to process the data anymore because it's so large. So we're recording terabytes of data every week, and it's impossible to analyze that all together. And I think that's also going to be a main challenge in the future.
Yeah, for challenges beside those I have already mentioned in my talk, I do see just the term of expectations of different people related to the same project, related to the same goal. This is quite challenging because sometimes the expectations are not realistic, but sometimes also we as data scientists, we want to aim for more, we want to be better, because also out there we hear what Google and Apple and who else is doing cool stuff, and we think, okay, why can't we do it? Actually, I'm quite sure we can, but they also have 1,000 people working for them. So maybe we have to also, for our customers, tell them, okay, we do our best, we also aim for excellence, but sometimes achieving an accuracy of 100% is really not needed. We could be also happy with 99.9%.
Okay, the challenges, well, the near challenges are really, if I refer back to my talk now, to set up and conduct this experiment, if we could support the uptake of open science resources with the help of technology. And going a little bit beyond or broader, I think regarding open science in general, this should be made more public out of the context of universities, and make it available to everybody, make it clear to everybody that there is data out there, there is open source code out there, that you can also read something about research. It must not be that deep into it, but that you make science more accessible and inclusive and transparent to all of us.
Thanks. I look to our ladies who coordinated chat. Any questions from our online community? Not for now. That's your chance, audience. Who wants to ask a question over there?
Hi. First, thank you for this nice speech. And I have a question mainly for Angela. About open science in the research. So it's known that the publishing industry is a bit weird, let's say, as it's paid nearly 3 times by the state. So the researcher are paid by the state, the people we review are paid by the state, and then at the end it's the research who are also paid by the state who pay for those articles. Is there any talk about those issues of triple payment by the state, or open science paper like journal who could help this?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so is there any, do you hear me better now?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Just the core of the question.
Is there any talk about an open resource journal, or something in that direction?
For the publishers, I mean, they have to earn money in order to be able to publish their journals or whatever. What is done, and what we also do as researchers, we publish preprints, meaning before or when a journal paper, for example, is accepted, and if you don't have put your paper in this format of the publisher, you can put it online as a kind of preprint. And what you can always do is you put your published paper then on your personal homepage. This is what you can do in order to go around and make your publication available to others. There are also platforms like, for example, ResearchGate. There you have to be a little bit careful again, but you can always send your private version of your paper to other researchers that are interested in your work.
More questions over here?
Well, thanks for your presentation. So I would also have a question to Angela regarding open science. What's your take on these semi-legal websites like Sci-Hub, where you can get even not open access articles for free? It's like pirating. Does it help open science initiative, or it's like bad for it? Thank you.
No, if publications are open science, it helps for research. I mean, also as we are close related, the NoScience is very close related to the Graz University of Technology. And also for us, it's not possible, for example, to get access to psychological papers, and sometimes we need such papers. So some initiative like Science Hub or PubMed, or okay, this is closed, but like ResearchGate or maybe also Google Scholar really helps us to get those or those publications that are relevant for us. And if this does not work, and this is what I also said, if you are, for example, working in an SME or in a startup or in a company, you cannot subscribe all journals. But you can maybe have relations to university staff and can ask them in order to get the research or the papers you would like to have and you might need for your work.
Are there more questions? Over there.
How do you ensure that all the involved stakeholders who are working with the final data have the same knowledge and understanding about the data, and how do you use then finally the data to make a proper forecasting out of it?
Regarding open data now?
I think this is for all of you, because finally you work with the data, and for me it's important to know how you ensure that the involved people have then the same understanding about the used data.
Regarding open data, this is easy and difficult to answer at the same time. So if you have an open data platform like the one from the government, I would say it's more or less guaranteed that the data that is there is valid and okay and fine, and you can use it forever you want. And typically the data offered there has some descriptions, which type of data is there, from when to when, where it was collected, and so on and so forth. So this is fine. If you use data from other platforms that are just available on the internet, and there can be everything there, then it's up to you to decide. Either you say, okay, I take it and use it. I mean, if it's not riskfully whatever you do, then yeah, it's nice. But if you use it for, let's say, for company purposes, to develop a product, a service, then you really have to check out if this data is valid, if it's correct, if it's whatever, in order that you can guarantee your customers that what you provide is okay.
Okay, a lot of questions regarding open science. I have the impression you will not have too much time for lunch. You will be kind of busy answering questions. It's really interesting, but we have 3 ladies here on stage. Any questions to Anja or Johanna especially? Okay, there is a question up there.
Hello, Johanna. I have been working with time series data for about 1 year, and I was looking at corona data. And I was looking at the data set, global data set for corona infections. And I noticed there was a lot of missing data points because different countries have different resources for monitoring the spread of the virus. And I was wondering how you handle anomaly detection in time series data set when you have a lot of missing data that cannot be corrected using interpolation. Do you have any other solutions for that?
Unfortunately, as a computer scientist, I have to answer that this is simply not possible. We have this saying in computer science, garbage in, garbage out. So if the data is really bad, then it's simply not possible to do any sophisticated analysis. So whatever you would throw onto the data, it will just produce garbage. So one possibility is to improve the data by interpolation, for example. It's also, sometimes it works, sometimes not. So if the data is really messy, then I have to say it's simply not possible. And also with the corona data, there's another problem in there. With all the analysis we've seen all over the 2 years, we've seen lines all the time. Lines of numbers of infections and so on. What we never saw is the uncertainty behind. There is a huge uncertainty in this data because countries test in a different way. Countries use different tests, and we've never seen this uncertainty, and I think this is especially for prediction, this is a huge problem. So,
So I had to really come up with a solution for that problem, and I just want to get your view on the solution I decided to use. I tried interpolation. It worked for some data sets, but there was a problem. Eventually, I decided to take a subset where
that also works.
I saw like, the missing data was not a really big challenge in that subset of data, so that's what I used for my analysis. So I'm wondering, what's your take on that?
I have the impression you all also have a lunch date.
Yes.
So there it seems to be a lot to discuss. I have to have a look on time.
I just wanted to say one sentence because I think this is in general important. If you say, I have to come up with a solution, then question the solution. Why do you need a solution? And if the data does not support the solution, it's not possible. I think that's...
Thanks. Okay, so who wants to go to lunch with Anja? Because I'm still looking for a question. Anybody? Yeah, here? From online community? Okay, online, okay, that will be difficult with lunch, but at least the question we take.
Yeah, we have one question for Angela concerning open science. I hope I get the core of the question correct. So the online participant asked, is there, or what is the actual difference between publishing work in traditional journals versus publishing it as an open science source? So for both the author and the publisher, whoever this is.
I mean, if you are publishing a high-level paper, like, for example, as I mentioned, this Sky conference, this is up, top level on the venues, and then you know, as a reader, that the publication that is published in this journal or conference is of high quality. If you publish on Archive or on another open access platform, you always have to ask yourself, is this what is published there correct? Can you repeat it? Typically, you as a researcher have to so if you are a serious researcher, yes, you publish on these platforms, but then later on you publish it in high-level conferences. If you are someone who wants to be published on somewhere without a specific quality assurance, that you can also use these platforms. Typically, what a good practice is, you look at the author, you look at the background, you look where he or she has published before, you look at the reputation, and so on and so forth, and then you can decide. If you are a researcher that takes research serious, you typically try to publish in high-level journals, conferences, in order to get accepted, to get known to the research. And you do not only publish on these open science platforms.
Thanks for your answer. Our session comes to an end. One last question from my side, and Anja, you are the first to answer.
Nice.
Please keep it short. You have a free wish, okay? A free wish. Whatever you want, which helps your work. A free wish. There is a fee, so like a fairy tale fee. Yeah. You have a free wish. What would it be?
That someone's choosing me having lunch together.
I choose you.
Okay. Please, someone go for lunch with Anja. Johanna, one free wish for your work. What would you help with your challenges?
A really, really clever machine learning algorithm that would be able to analyze heterogeneous data and create messy data created by humans. And
sounds good. Angela?
Yeah, regarding open science, I would say make open science as an endeavor more publicly known to everybody, so that everybody knows that he or she can use current results from research for interest, for their work, for whatever.
Ladies, thanks a lot for your insights. Please all give a round of applause to our speakers. So, also for you, a small present.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So thanks again.